there are quite a lot of things I would have liked to do different if I was younger. And seeing that my channel has quite a young demographic, like there's quite a lot of people that watch me that are younger than 25. I would like to give you some messages, some lessons that I wish I knew when I was younger. The first thing I wish I did is stand up to my bullies. Now, I've talked a bunch already on this channel how back in high school, I used to be called a terrorist, and people would even make these videos of me, like, they would film on Snapchat and make this, like, bombing video of where I do a certain thing to someone. And obviously it's all a joke, but, thinking back, they were clearly being racist. Like, they were clearly just laughing at me, not with me. And I remember the worst part is when we made these videos, I would actually say like the whole Allah Akbar thing like out loud, and I would bro, this is cringy. Like I would legitimately say that stuff for them. I would do this. I would be a jester. I would, think, oh, I'm funny. We're being friends with each other. No, they're laughing at me. They weren't laughing with me. There's a big difference there. When someone films you like that, they're gonna share that on Snapchat with their friends and everything. That's at the cost of your reputation. Like, now you're the jester, so now if their friends see you, now you're also known as the clown, as, in my case, the terrorist. Like, I should have stood up to them, you know what I mean? Like, because the reason why you want to stand up to a bully is this, right? I don't care about, like, the morality and everything. That's not why I'm doing it. You have to stand up to your bullies for a very selfish reason. It's that so you can live in peace. Because those guys, they moved on. You know what I mean? They probably don't even think about this certain event. If you would tell them, oh, remember when you made that small Snapchat movie or whatever about this terrorist kid? They would probably just shrug like, what? And you would have to remind them like fully in detail of what happened. But for the kid who got picked on, for me, I remember it vividly. Like, I remember it in detail. That's the biggest reason why you need to stand up, for yourself. That's why it doesn't matter, bro. Even if you're going to get into trouble, like, it's better to get in trouble than to, be the bigger man and do nothing. And, now that shit's in your mind for years. Because, for example, my brother wasn't that way. My brother was very rebellious. Anytime someone said any remarkable thing about him being like a terrorist or whatever, he was very aggressive. He got into a lot of trouble because of that. Maybe he was a little bit more aggressive than he should have been. Like, I'm talking smashing a dude's head into a wall. Like, he did some wild stuff back in high school, but the thing is, it's better to be that guy. It's better to smash someone's head into a wall than to be this chump, bigger man who does nothing. You know why? Because my brother now is confident. He doesn't care. He just goes on with his life, and that's it. He doesn't think about high school. He doesn't think about that one time Timmy called me a terror. He doesn't care. He moved on. Like, that's why you need to stand up to your bullies. It's because it clears your mind. The best example of this that I can give you that's like an online example is when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Now, everyone and their mom is saying that Chris Rock is the bigger man and Chris Rock is an adult and he doesn't indulge in that. But the thing is, bro, like, this is gonna be inside Chris Rock's mind till the day he dies, especially because this was on, like, TV and millions of people watched it. And he got slapped, bro. He got smacked quite hard. And not just that he gets smacked, a few seconds later, then Will Smith tells him to shut the fuck up. Like, I'll just play the clip so you can see what I mean.
Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
But not just that he smacked him, he also told him to shut the fuck up. Like, he literally dominated him. He made him his bitch. And, obviously that's beside the point, right? Because a lot of people are gonna say, oh, but Will Smith's wife is doing this. It's not about that, bro. Like, that's all lore. I don't care about Will Smith's lore. All I'm talking about is what happened that night in that event. That's all that matters. And in that night, in that event, Will Smith made Chris Rock his bitch. That's what happened. As much as Chris Rock can say that he's the bigger man, that he's traumatized for life, bro. Like, you can even see this in his later skits. He still brings it up.
Y'all know what happened to me. Getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody fucking knows. Yes, I got smacked in the fucking Oscars by this motherfucker. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. A lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back? How come you didn't do nothing back that night? Because I got parents. That's why. Because I was raised. Okay? And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
Meanwhile, Will Smith is probably like this.
Yeah.
If you let someone bully you, like, they don't care. The bully doesn't care. That's like the thing that always agitated me about, you know, thinking back about the events that happened to my life. The aggravating part about getting bullied is that the bully just moves on. He doesn't care. A part of that just used to agitate me so much, but now I've understood it, you know. Like, people really don't talk shit anymore in university to me, which I don't know if that's because people got older or because I have a bigger frame now. I think it's the second one. People are childish basically for their entire lives, but there was one time where I was walking with this group of dudes, and there was one girl in the group, and, you know, as you already know, when there's a girl, people or men start doing very weird things. So we were walking past these bicycles that are in front of our university. And then one of the guys just has to make a joke, right? He just can't stop himself. Like, we walk past these bicycles and he makes this joke of, don't steal the bicycles, because, you know, I'm the brown dude. And, you know, you can call me as much as an asshole as you want to, but I told him straight up that he's a manlet, that he's a dwarf. I'm not gonna sit there and tell the average short guy you're a manlet, you're a dwarf. But I feel like when people say, you know, when they start shit with you, you need to be very aggressive back towards them. Not to be too much of a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like that guy still thinks about that now, you know. I feel like that guy, anytime he sees me, he still thinks, damn, I'm short. And he doesn't think that because, you know, he's short. He thinks that because I put him down that one day. And the reason I did is because I didn't want that fucking memory to sit on my mind again. You get me? Like, I don't know if you get me, but if you let someone bully you, if I let him say that to me, then I would have sat here crying to you again, like, damn, they were racist to me again, and I didn't do anything. And I'm just done with the racist jokes, you know what I mean? Like, anytime someone makes a joke like that, I just become very aggressive towards the guy. And, you know, obviously, like, don't do physical stuff. Like, I don't approve of that either. Like I said, the things my brother did. I mean, honestly, bro, if you're a kid in high school, you get away with a lot of stuff, right? Like, in high school, you can literally punch someone in the face and it's whatever. Like, you're kids, no one really cares. But yeah, if you're an adult, definitely don't do any of that. You can get into a lot of trouble. But, like, verbally, bro, you should destroy the guy. Like, verbally, like, just throw any words you can at him. Just become loud, become obnoxious, because don't let them traumatize you, man. Like, if someone picks on you, don't let them traumatize you. Make sure that you traumatize them, you know. It's a it's a dog-eat-dog world. You can't let people traumatize you, man. I wish someone would have told me that. I wish my parents or someone would have told me back in high school that, you know, if someone says something, just punch them in the fucking face, because it works. Like I said, especially if you're a kid. You get away with it, bro. If you're a kid, you can literally do those things and you get away with it. But yeah, you know, no one told me, and I was the bigger man, like Chris Rock was. And just like Chris Rock, now I'm still talking about these events a decade later. It's been 10 years since high school for me. I'm still talking about these events because I was the bigger man, you know. I was Mr. Nice Guy, didn't do anything, and here I am. So stand up to your bullies, man. Don't let them traumatize you. Now, the next thing is Looksmaxxing. Looksmaxxing is largely effective the younger you are. The younger you are, the more gains you're gonna get, because there's a lot of these very hyper-specific things about Looksmaxxing, such as chewing hard foods, mewing. All these things are more effective the younger you are. In fact, mewing is mostly bullshit. Like, once you're an adult, it basically doesn't work because your bones are set. But there's all these type of stuff to get like a better jaw naturally without surgery when you're young. And they do work because your bones aren't like fully hard yet. They're not fully developed. I guess that's a way of saying it. You can still shape your bones quite a lot when you're younger. And not just that, when you're younger, you're also going to get more bang for your buck. I remember when I was 15, I had a six-pack, and, you know, one of the guys must have, like, talked about it to the girls, and then, you know, all the girls in my high school knew. And I remember during break, they would come to me and touch my stomach, like, oh, do you really have a six-pack? And I was so dumb, man. Like, I was so dumb. Like, instead of capitalizing on that, you know, instead of being like, oh, that's a sign for me, you know, to lock in, now I should, like, work out even harder, I let them get to me, like, because all the guys, they were jealous. And they were saying, oh, that's not a six-pack, bro. That's just your ribs. Like, that's not a six-pack, bro. They kept saying that to me. And I let them get to me. So I stopped working out. And, nothing came of it. That's why I always say in high school I was invisible. Because other than that one moment, nothing really happened for me in high school. But, had I gone hard on Looksmaxxing, had I been chewing hard, who knows, bro? I might have had a good jawline now. Like, and even without chewing the hard foods, like just going to the gym, bro, I'm telling you, if you're the guy with the abs, people are gonna know. Girls talk a lot. I've said this like a billion times already, but girls talk a lot. If you're known as the guy who has abs, who has, straight chest, all this stuff, especially like in high school, bro, when the average kid just doesn't have anything. Like the average kid in high school is skinny fat. It just allows you to snowball effect into like your 20s. Because let's say you become jacked in high school. You're gonna go into college as the jacked guy. Because in my first year of university, yeah, I knew about Looksmaxxing, but building muscles, it takes time, man. Like, it took me a whole year for me to see, like, noticeable improvements, for people to actually say, oh, wow, dude, you're looking big and shit. Like, it took me a whole year. My first year of university, yeah, I was working out, but no one said anything. No one made any comments about my bicep, about my chest, or whatever. It was in my second year of university, so that means I missed out on an entire year of opportunities where, again, if you Looksmaxx as early as possible, you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck. Basically, you're 18 till 25. I would say those are the prime years, If you can somehow manage to become jacked by 18, then you're basically gonna live from 18 till 25 in your peak, like at your prime. And you're not going to waste any more years, Because, my prime is going to come this year because I got a hair transplant. But the sad thing is, after this, I'm just going to decline, Like, after 25, your body just slowly declines more and more and more. And I know I can slow the decline. But I wish I did all this stuff earlier, So I could live my peak for longer, if that makes sense. Because I basically have a few years to take advantage of that. And then the Agepill is going to hit me really hard. And, that's it. Whereas if you peak at 18, 19, right? So if you started Looksmaxxing from 14, bro, you're doing skincare, you're working out, you're lean, you have no acne, you have a glass type of skin. Like, you have all this stuff, right? From 18. Bro, that's like for more than a decade, you're going to mog most people. For more than a decade, you're gonna be at your prime, and that's just so much better, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna want to be at your prime for the most amount of years, if that makes sense. So that's why you should Looksmaxx as early as possible. Alright, the third thing is that you need to choose a side. Like, you need to basically decide, am I gonna go to school for academic reasons, or am I gonna go to school to be a degenerate? Now, a degenerate, we can split into two parts. There's the party guy who, goes to parties 24/7 and basically fails in school. And then there's a second guy who plays games 24/7 and also fails in school. I was that guy. And my mistake was that I wanted to be a mix. So I wanted to be academically smart and get good grades and get accepted into, very high acclaimed universities. But I also wanted to be a degenerate, as in, like, playing a lot of games. It doesn't work. At a certain point, when you take all advanced classes and stuff, it's gonna get hard enough that being a mixture just doesn't work. And that's also why I failed 2 years in high school, pretty much. Because I just felt weird of, like, I didn't want to fit in with the nerds, if that makes sense. I always saw myself as better than the nerds, which, thinking back, like, that's kind of weird because I am a nerd. Like, if you're doing all advanced classes in high school, bro, you're a fucking nerd. If I just look at myself from a third-person angle, from a third-person view, it's like, dude, you're a geek. Like, you take all advanced classes, you play games, you're into fantasy, you're a nerd. But, for some reason, I didn't want to be like a nerd. And so I had this weird mixture of, I was a degenerate, but I was also focused on school, which, again, doesn't work because you're going to be sleep deprived. You're going to barely do your homework. And all in all, bro, it just leads to a depressing life, Like, there's not much more to say here, but just pick a side, man. And it's normal as a teenager that you want to fit in. That's one final thing I want to say on this topic. A lot of these people, they say, oh, you don't care about what people think of you. You just be yourself, bro. Yeah, bro, it's easy to say when you're 20, 25, 30. Like, try telling that to a 15-year-old kid. A 15-year-old kid wants to fit in. If everyone in his class has an iPhone, he wants an iPhone. If everyone wears Jordans, he wants Jordans. That's just how kids are. They want to fit in and it's normal. And that's also why I'm not gonna push this bullshit narrative telling you, oh bro, don't worry, you shouldn't try to fit in. No, it's normal. If you're a teenager, you want to fit in. And I get that. But you need to choose a side. Who do you want to fit into with? Like, who do you want to be part of? Do you want to be part of the nerds? Or the jocks who party but, they suck at school? Or do you want to be the nerds who basically get 0 girls but they're very successful academically? You need to choose a side. You need to choose, like, people that you want to be part of. You need to choose, like, a tribe. That's all I can say on this topic. I wish I chose a side because I didn't choose a side and it led to a lot of wasted years, Now, the next thing you should learn about is all these ideologies that have been blowing up lately, which I believe a lot of people know about this already, the Andrew Tate with Jordan Peterson, with all these people. I made a whole video about this, which I'll link it somewhere. Like, if you want to watch that, you can just watch that. But the main thing you want to know about the way humans behave is that you never want to be a jester. That might be a personal issue that I used to have, but you never want to be a jester. A jester is basically someone who makes self-deprecating jokes constantly just to make the normies laugh. If you're constantly ruining your own reputation to make other people laugh, you need to understand, like, this adds to the first point I made, but I really want to emphasize this. You need to understand, they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. You're the jester. Like, imagine a jester back in the medieval times who's like throwing balls and singing or whatever he's doing. The king isn't sitting there thinking, oh yeah, he's part of the elite, he's part of us, he's part of the King's Guard or whatever, he's part of the King's Council. No, he's a jester, he's a clown. He's there to entertain me. That's what you are. When you make self-deprecating jokes, they're laughing at you. You are the jester. You're the guy throwing balls, trying to make people laugh. Again, they're not laughing with you. They're not thinking, oh, he's a funny guy and everything. No, they're thinking, oh, what a dumbass, what a fool. Who makes fun of him like that? And the reason I'm saying all of this is because I was a jester. And guess what happened when I failed my first year in high school? No one talked with me. All these years I was thinking, oh, these are my friends. They think I'm funny. No one talked with me. After that year, it was like silent, mute, gone, like radio silence. Everyone was gone. And that's because I was never friends with them in the first place. They never laughed with me. I was the jester. I was the clown. They always laughed at me. That's all I want to say, or just don't be the jester. But there might be another, like, hyper-specific scenario for you. So that's why it's important for you to realize, like, where are you in life? And it's important to know all these things as young as possible so you basically navigate your way in a better way throughout your entire life. And, the earlier you know these things, the better. The fifth thing is that you shouldn't rush things academically. And so I've already said many times that I failed high school twice, then I took a year off, so 3 years. Now I'm, like, behind my peers. By the time I start my first year of university, technically I'm 4 years behind my peers. If you think about it, I'm 4 years. That's almost half a decade behind my peers. Obviously, in that period of time, everyone is going to look at me as a complete utter loser, dumbass. He doesn't know anything. What is he doing? Like, he should just quit life, or however you want to say it. There's something that you should know about academics or bachelor degrees or master degree or whatever degrees, and it's that a lot of degrees are useless. The best I can compare this to is the tortoise and the hare story, which, in case you don't know that story, it's basically this whole concept where there's this hare, or I'll just call him a rabbit. I don't even know what a hare is, but there's this rabbit who obviously is way faster than the tortoise. The rabbit gets way ahead of the tortoise, but then midway through he falls asleep, and by the time he wakes up, he realizes the tortoise passed him. Obviously, to translate this over to real life, a lot of people, bro, they rush things academically they're like, oh, I need to make sure I work at 21, at 22. I need to make sure I get a job as quick as possible. I need to get school over with as soon as possible. Before they get their bachelor degree, they realize, oh, wait, I chose the wrong degree. And in a lot of countries, including the Netherlands, only your first degree is for free. Your first bachelor in this country is pretty much free. But if you want to do another bachelor after that, you're going to have to pay for that yourself. And if you wasted that chance on, for example, liberal arts, gender studies, psychology, like, these are some of these useless degrees that these people went for, These people who, back in high school, they were quote unquote ahead of me. But I've been slowly catching up, man. And I've even surpassed some people, and I know I'm gonna surpass quite a lot of people once I get my degree, because there's a lot of demand for lawyers in pretty much any country in the world. And the reason I say to not rush things academically is that I didn't choose law like random. Once I finished high school, I took a year off because I really wanted to make sure that I chose the right degree. You know, I didn't want to become that dude, oh, I'm gonna choose this degree because my friend is also going to this uni. Like, I can't believe some people think like that, you know. Oh, my friend is going here and now I'm also going there. Like, bro, you're basically gonna destroy your whole next 40 years because you want to be with that friend, which you're not gonna talk to that friend anyway. Most likely in college, you're gonna make new friends. And even if you don't, after college, you guys are not gonna talk anyway. After college, things are gonna be gone anyway. So you're gonna ruin the next 40 years because you just want to be quick and get a job really quick. And next thing you know, bro, most jobs reject you because you got a shitty ass degree. And the only jobs you can get are the jobs that don't even require a degree. That's the crazy part. There was this girl, and, you know, not to talk shit about her or whatever, but she was very competitive back in high school. And I remember after high school, she went and did a psychology degree. Now, she only got a bachelor degree, because I do know if you go for a master, you can actually get quite a good job with a psychology degree. But with a bachelor, you basically can't get anything. It's a very useless bachelor. The last time I talked to her, she was working at some customer service or something. Bro, like, come on. Like, you went to university for 3 years just to do customer service. Like, come on. Do I have to explain why that's stupid? Whereas me, you know, once I get my job, once I get my degree, I mean, bro, like, law pays a lot. I don't think I need to tell you that. And I know it's gonna sound like, oh, I'm bragging, whatever, but I'm just being realistic here. Law pays a lot. I'm not gonna undersell it. Whereas, you know, these customer service jobs, bro, like, they're over there sitting around, what, 30, 40K? And that's, you know, if you're working there for 5, 10 years. When you're starting, you get this slavery salary of like 2,000, 2,500, like, it's barely anything. My point here is that the reason I'm soon going to surpass not just this girl, but like all these people who technically were 4 years ahead of me is I didn't rush things academically. Before I chose a degree, I actually looked at the job market. I looked, all right, what's high in demand? Who gets paid them? Even down to the fact into what I specialized in, because a lot of people don't know this, but not every single field in law gets paid a lot. You know, the average normie, they hear lawyer and they think, oh wow, that's a rich guy. It depends. Like, there's some fields in law that get paid quite a lot, and then there's also other fields that don't get paid quite a lot. So I basically prepared myself very well. I've put myself in a very good position, and that's because I didn't rush things academically. I didn't want to be the guy who's like, oh, I need to get a job as soon as I'm 21, as soon as I'm 22. I need to work, bro. Like, just a little bit of a side rant, but I don't even know what people are rushing for. Like, what are you rushing for, bro? Like, you're gonna be a wagey for the next 40 years. Like, chill out. And, you know, someone is gonna say, oh, but you need to, like, buy a house. Hey, bro, the houses are so expensive. Like, I'm checked out. Like, I'm good. I know I'm never gonna own a home. I've accepted that. I'm probably gonna get an apartment and, you know, that's it. Pay rent for the rest of my life. But I'm never gonna own a home. I've already accepted that. The people who are working at 21, 22, bro, you're not gonna own a home being a customer service. Like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna own a home. The house prices are so expensive. You're not gonna own a house. So what are we even rushing for? My point is, bro, school is only once. Work is 40 years. Take your time, make sure you pick a good degree, because you better make the best out of this next 40 years. Don't make the mistake some of the people that I know made. Don't rush things. You're only gonna regret it. Alright, the last thing we're gonna have to talk about is girls, because, let's be honest, guys just think about girls 24/7. And it's even worse the younger you are, you know, especially when you go through puberty and you get 5 boners in one day. You just think more about that stuff. You think way more about girls. Like, I used to daydream so much. I remember about, like, my teacher, which I probably shouldn't say what I dreamt about, but you get the point. Thing that I want to say here with girls is that if you have to try, it's already over. Now, this kind of goes back into what I said earlier about, like, you need to Looksmaxx. You need to learn about all the ideologies. Like, you need to learn what being a jester is and all that stuff. But with girls, if you have to try, it's already over. I wish I knew this earlier in life, man. Like, because in high school, you know, other than that moment that I said, you know, when people knew I had a six-pack, I was basically invisible. No one ever talked to me. And I thought that that was normal. Like, I genuinely thought women were asexual, bro. Like, that's how bad I was. I genuinely thought that they just didn't have any energy in them. I genuinely thought that, oh, it's normal for the man to do everything. You know, obviously this reality got shattered in university for me, but really it was shattered even earlier for me, just that I didn't want to believe it. I had this online friend, this Mexican friend, and he would tell me all the time how his girlfriend would buy him everything. His girlfriend bought him his PS4, bought every game, every DLC, paid for his food, his car. Like, I remember this girl basically paid for almost everything for this guy. And, you know, this guy was a very attractive guy, obviously. But thing is, I didn't want to believe that. I still told myself, nah, he's lying. You know, people online, they lie all the time, which they do, you know, people lie all the time online. But yeah, I just didn't want to believe this. I didn't want to believe in this reality that girls pay basically for men. I still had this outdated mindset thinking, nah, it's a guy's job. Guys typically, you know, they pay for girls. They pay for the date, for this, for that. But yeah, this guy was just a 180. That should have been my wake-up call. It wasn't. So if you're younger than me, hopefully you're smarter. Hopefully you actually do wake up, because I was stupid, man. Like, I've talked about this already a bunch of times, so I'm not gonna repeat it, you know, for too many times. But yeah, my second year, bro, I didn't do anything special. I just went to school and I went home. I went to school and went home. I went to school and I went home. I didn't do anything special. But in between that, there were several girls who were interested in me, because on my way of like walking towards home, they would find a way to contact me. And that's how girls are. If they're really into you, they will find a way to contact you. You basically don't have to do anything. So yeah, this last message is that if a girl isn't all over you, if she doesn't make it very easy for you to talk to her, to approach her, forget about her, move on. But yeah, that's a video, man. Yeah, make sure you give it a like, comment, all that cringy shit. Helps the channel. And yeah, that's the video.